I was actually just talking to a police officer, letting him know that there are people in these vehicles, and he said he didn't even realize. I mean, the visibility here is so low that our first responders can't even see that there are people in these vehicles.
We just lost that car. Where did it go?
I mean, that car was driving and it disappeared under a pool of water. They have emergency crews on the way. I tell you, it's kind of an eerie sight with this dawn to dusk curfew. Lots of power out driving here to the hospital, and as you know, the water out in much of the city as well. And sir, we're going to listen in on your prayer service if you don't mind.
Let us pray. We will not let the enemy break our faith.
In that prayer circle, I don't know if you saw earlier, but one of the signs that they were holding up just had one word on it, and that word was why. And that certainly is the question that's looming here this morning. Silence and prayer. Charleston sending a clear message that they are going to stand together in this, that the anger and hatred is not going to tear them apart, that they're going to hold each other up. The amount of flowers, the cards, the tears, the heartbreak, none of it has slowed down as everyone remembers these 6 women and 3 men that we so tragically lost. Now, it's clear that this conversation is far from over as we await that historic decision from lawmakers. And really, to say that this day is historic is such an understatement. This will be the first time that the Confederate battle flag hasn't flown on State House grounds for over half a century. I mean, that's just incredible, no matter what side of this debate you've been on, whether you've been for the flag flying here at the State House or against it. But let me tell you, this is a big deal for a few different reasons. First, this is an elected official. I mean, he's held this position for about 3 decades now, and he's tasked with the responsibility of protecting citizens in Lexington County in the 11th Judicial Circuit, which covers a few different counties, actually. And second, this is a big deal because this is not the first time this has happened. You could see flames shooting up from the building there. They evacuated all of these apartments. She said she actually spoke to her mother on the phone from inside the facility before the phones went out. SLED is actually investigating an officer-involved shooting that ended here at the South Carolina Federal Credit Union.
It was the fall of 1979, and on TV there was a mini-series called The Holocaust. And I watched the first part, and I was in shock. And I went to my dad, and I said, "Dad, is this real? Is this really what happened?" And he said to me, "Lily, they can't begin to touch on what was really there."
Lily Filler is the daughter of 2 Holocaust survivors, Yaja and Ben.
The rhetoric of fear, of prejudice, of bigotry, of hatred was spewed over the radio waves, and people bought into it.
Her parents, teenagers at the time, saw their loved ones murdered in the same camps they narrowly escaped.
And he watched his brother be killed.
Yaja and Ben married after the war and had Lily.
I immigrated with my parents in June of 1949. I was born in Munich, Germany.
They landed in Columbia, South Carolina to start a new life.
We knew that something horrific had occurred. My parents had tattoos on their arms. My mother had terrible nightmares from the time I was a young girl till the time she passed away.
They found solace and sanctuary in their faith.
My parents called this home, and interestingly, the synagogue is called the House of Peace, and they always said this was their home of peace after what they had been through.
That faith, Lily says, is what gave them a reason to live.
My mother, who probably had some of the worst experiences in the camps, was the first to say, hatred is not going to undo what happened to me, but if we love and we forgive, we'll get a lot further.
Lily's mother and father have since passed away, but she still has her father's voice, singing this prayer for the 6 million Jews who died in the Holocaust.
His voice, his emotion when he chanted it, really transformed everybody.
Lily is one of many Midlands Jews now working with Historic Columbia to record their oral history.
This is a community that is extremely resilient, that is very, very strong, that has a very powerful story to tell.
Stories like Lily's.
This is my father's number.
That will now be preserved for generations to come.
Because of what my parents went through, it was their faith that brought them through. It has essentially defined who I am.
that was your child? You know, what if that was your grandchild?
Jada Garris is the spokesperson for the SAVE campaign, a group aimed at ending stop arm violations. Close calls like this.
Day after day.
She's also a school bus driver herself.
Students' safety should be our top priority. And when you, as a driver, when you see that jeopardized on a daily basis, it's very, very, it's frustrating. It's scary.
She and the SAVE campaign members brought their concerns to the State House and caught the attention of Senator Wes Hayes.
We have an unenforceable law that we are having constant stop arm violations throughout the state where people cannot be penalized.
That's because as the law stands now, for a violator like this to be ticketed, bus camera footage would have to clearly identify the driver's face. And as you can see from this footage, that's nearly impossible.
Even with non-tinted windows, it's very rare that they get a good shot where they can identify who the driver was.
Senator Hayes introduced a new bill that would issue a $500 citation to the person the vehicle is registered to. So the camera would only have to catch the car or the plate number.
Last year, Highway Patrol issued 42 tickets for stop arm violations, but there are 42 per hour in South Carolina.
And although the bill is still in committee, it might be the key to stopping this from happening.
I don't care how big a hurry you're in, it's not important enough to put our children at risk.
We all know the saying that dogs are man's best friend, and one Sumter veteran is sharing that friendship with children who need it. News 19 Savannah Levins introduces us to the man and his four-legged pal.
Ready to go to work, Sparky? Huh?
The halls of Cherryvale Elementary,
Because in dog years, he and I are about the same age.
are no stranger to 77-year-old Denny Sides.
Ready? Oh, yeah, you're ready, aren't you?
Or his two therapy dogs, Sparky and Max.
Okay, we're going down to Mrs. Bach's class now.
It's Wednesday, and that means Mrs. Bach's students are already waiting.
Show Sparky the bear. Point to the bear.
Every single week, Sides, Sparky, and Max visit special needs students at a dozen schools and centers in Sumter.
Yeah, big smile. Don't run into anybody.
Ask the 22-year Air Force veteran why he does it, and he'll tell you.
Makes me feel good. I mean, you're asking the question with a big smile on your face because you've seen it.
The smiles are contagious.
How's Bobby?
Mrs. Bach sure knows it.
And the rest of the day, the kids are just on cloud nine. They are so much more involved in their lessons, and it really does make a big difference in their lives.
Sides says the idea just hit him a few years ago.
Good boy.
To share the happiness, the companionship that Sparky and Max have given him all these years.
I would never be separated from him if I could.
Ask him why he does it, and he'll tell you.
Good job, Ziggy.
It's for the moments like this.
Seeing the smiles on the kids. When they smile, I smile. And that's the favorite part.
Savannah Levins, News 19, WLTX.
That is such a sweet story. Well, if you've ever tried to learn how to play an instrument, you know that it takes discipline, it takes passion, and of course, perseverance. For Carol Murray, those qualities are just a part of the lesson plan, and the result is something beautiful. Take a look.
1, 2, ready, and... You need some music in your life. Music kind of gets you going in the day.
In the halls of Crossroads Intermediate School, you can hear it. Music made by children, 6th graders, like Nick Carnes.
I just like that you can make a sound with like something that you just hold and go ahead and play, and you don't have to listen to it on the radio. You can make your own stuff.
A young orchestra led by a special conductor.
Dotted quarter note followed by 8th note followed by 2 quarter notes.
Miss Carol Murray, member of the South Carolina Philharmonic by night.
You sit up nice and tall with your scrolls up high. Here we go.
Middle school teacher by day.
2 and ready, go. It's really cool when I'm teaching a passage to the kids and they're not really sure about it, and we work and we get to the end and I see them go, yes, and they got it, and it's just, that's really cool. We see that every day. And that's what's really neat about it.
And while she might not be leading a seasoned symphony at Carnegie Hall, she's leading nonetheless.
Miss Murray is a really good teacher. If you're not having a good day, she'll pull you through the day. She is one of the best teachers I've had in a long time.
And that's what makes her our Teacher of the Week.
Close your eyes, and you might forget where you are. But in Miss Murray's class, you'll never forget where you started.
I just think that's one of the best parts is taking something they don't know and going to something that they feel proud of.
It's 8 a.m., and these cops are getting drunk.
I am volunteering my liver and kidneys for the better of society, really.
This is Richard Corley, patrolman with the Columbia Police Department. He was once a student here at the Criminal Justice Academy. Now he's the teacher. Well, kind of.
Basically, we drink to the point where we would blow drunk and on a breathalyzer, and then we have cadets that come in to do the DUI, field sobriety on us, so that they can learn what they need to do as police officers, what they're looking for, how to go about seeing the signs of impairment.
That's right. While our volunteer cops drink, the academy students are downstairs getting ready for a very real test.
All right, walk and turn. Let's rock it out.
Traffic safety instructor Donald Rock is going over the field sobriety protocol one last time with the students before they put it all into practice with our inebriated officers.
Hands-on is always the best. They love going out there and actually being able to see things, to do things, then applying the concepts that they're learning in the classroom.
Let's check back in upstairs. Our volunteers have been drinking for 2 hours now.
It's easier for me to show you an impaired person than it is for me to tell you what one looks like.
Traffic safety manager Dale Smith is monitoring the group.
3 ounces of vodka is what they're drinking.
And their blood alcohol content very closely.
What we're looking for is to get people to the level of 0.08, 0.09, 0.10, somewhere in that range, because those are considered the lower level DUIs. Those are the ones most officers cannot detect easily, and those are the people that are sliding by and actually killing people.
That's the gray area. Officers need to be able to detect if someone has been drinking on these lower levels when it's not as obvious. Now, one last check of everyone's BAC before the students come up. Remember Officer Corley? He's now at a 0.123%. A 0.08 would have you behind bars in South Carolina. It's test time.
Stand together, feet together, hands at your side.
The students are conducting field sobriety tests, and they'll have to guess our volunteers' BACs, which right now range from 0 to 0.149.
Now do you see the difference?
Yes, sir.
In the eyes?
And even though our volunteers might have a hangover by noon, they know these future cops now have training that will keep this community safe.
You know, that's why we all get into this business. We get in this business to help the people and to save those lives. And regardless of whether it's a DUI or anything else, that's what we're here for, and that's what we all got in this business for.
Off a country road in Sumter, inside this small blue house with a bright yellow door,
Those are some really good clothes.
a dream has found a home.
Started with 4 foster parents that just had the same vision, same dream.
Tyrone Nixon and his wife Andreata have been parents to 11 foster children.
They come with nothing. We wanted them to have at least something, if nothing else, the necessities.
They met 2 other foster parents and soon discovered a common struggle.
I'm taking a crying baby, helpless baby or child in the store and trying to figure out, what I'm going to do.
So the Caring Hearts Sharing Closet was born.
Hi. Good.
The closet runs on donations.
I brought some stuff to drop off.
And everything is free for foster parents and kids.
There's not enough room in heaven for these type of people. There's just not.
Angela Trimmel says she used to work at DSS.
But to see some of these kids, it'll break your heart. And to know they could come in here and get nice, clean clothes and have something, it takes a lot off the kid and off the foster parent.
Every t-shirt, doll, and pair of shoes, a reminder of the small hands that will soon take them home.
So I'm about to cry now. I'm about to cry now because, just thinking about it, because like I said, you never know where they're coming from. It just makes you just want to just give so much more, just knowing that made a difference.
That difference coming in humble form as a hairbrush, a dress, a stuffed animal.
My goal is that there will be no kids that will be brought into a home with nothing.
But in this small blue house with its bright yellow door,
All 4 of us with a dream.
it's enough.
And now here it is. The dream is here.